For the youth of today, life is not exactly easy. There are plenty of pressures and difficulties that we go through on a daily basis that make it a lot easier for us to become depressed. I myself am a young person who at one time was depressed and went and looked for help. The doctor I spoke to gave me a little pill that was supposed to take it all away. That pill was called Zoloft, an antidepressant. At the time, I was a young girl who was searching for help and had hope that this pill would do that. Instead, I almost lost my life because it made me feel even worse. It was ineffective, it was dangerous, and there were other ways for me to treat my depression. But no one ever told me that, which is why I'm telling you, to prevent from what happened to me from happening to another person. Modern medicine today is at its best, but with what I share with you today, you will see that it still has its flaws with us. If things are at a point for you where you feel bad enough to seek help, wouldn't you want help that's effective? Antidepressants aren't as effective as they make them seem. On January 4th, 2006, there was a study done published in the American Journal of Psychiatry. 2,876 depressed patients were treated at 41 different clinics with Celexa, which is one of the most popular antidepressant pills and is a cousin medicine to Zoloft, Prozac, and Paxil. And the test was done for 10 weeks. 28% of people got better based on clinical ratings and 33% based on patient ratings. That means the other 67% didn't get better. And in fact, that evens out to less than 1 out of every 3 of them got better, and that's based on clinical or patient ratings. According to an article on how effective antidepressants are on teens that was published in 2007 on PsychCentral.com, the effects of treatments in recent studies show that they are getting better, and they are positive effects, but still it only works in 1 out of every 9 children taking antidepressants. They said antidepressants are worth taking, but so is therapy. So for me, I would rather try something that doesn't involve putting medication in my body that doesn't work. That could end up dangerous. Now, antidepressants actually are dangerous. They say that most clinical depression is caused by a chemical imbalance in your brain. Well, your brain continues growing and then developing until the age of 25. At any time, it could start producing whatever you're missing. That being said, if your brain starts producing what you're missing and you're taking a pill to also put it in there, you're going to have too much in your brain, and that could really mess you up mentally. Antidepressants work by impairing one's ability to metabolize serotonin, which is a chemical in your brain that affects your mood, so that over time your serotonin level will rise. Now, that was tested on mutant mice, which a lot of our drugs are tested on, and they became very violent instead of calm the way that they were supposed to. On September 14th, 2004, Mark Taylor, who was the first student shot at Columbine High School, made a statement to the FDA. In that statement, he said that Ed Harris, who was one of the shooters at Columbine, was on Zoloft for 6 weeks. And in that time, he said that they made him feel homicidal and suicidal. Harris was also stating that if he dropped off Luvix, which is another antidepressant, that he would have the rage to shoot everyone in the school. He never did drop that, and he shot everyone anyway. Mark Taylor said that if the FDA would have done their job and not approve of medicines such as Zoloft and Luvix, that he believes him and his fellow students would have never been shot that day. He said if antidepressants work the way they're supposed to, then why did Ed Harris shoot anybody? He thinks that he had a reverse effect. Mark Taylor considers himself to be a victim of the SSRI antidepressant era. In January 2006, it was said by the Royal College of Psychiatrists that there is evidence that people taking SSRI antidepressants are more likely to have suicidal thoughts. The most prescribed antidepressants are SSRIs, such as Zoloft, Prozac, Paxil, and Celexa. Because of that, they are not licensed to be used for anyone under the age of 18. I was 16 when I was prescribed Zoloft, and I almost had myself in a lot of trouble. I also read on Wikipedia that people under the age of 24 are warned that there's a higher risk of suicide when taking those pills. Instead of taking a medication that's going to make you feel worse than you already do, why not try something else? There are alternative treatments for depression, one being psychotherapy. Now, Dr. Muffson, a psychotherapist, said that whether you feel that depression may be biological in origin, it occurs in an interpersonal context. When you're depressed, it affects your interpersonal relationships, and in turn, that affects your mood. If you can intervene and improve those relationships, you can stop the course of the depressive moods. So the goal of the treatment is to work on those relationships and improving them and addressing the problems that are contributing to your depression. You can lead to full recovery. Acupuncture is another good source of treatment. Since the early 90s, studies showed that around the world, treating depression with acupuncture actually had a positive effect because it targets the pressure points that stimulate depression. As published in the Archives of General Psychiatry, studies found that only 25% of people that are clinically depressed actually meet the disease criteria. The other 75 could be considered ordinary sadness and adjustments to everyday life and difficulties. Doctors said that some could even be treated by aerobic exercise. A little extra exercise never hurt anybody, but antidepressants have. In life, there are all kinds of difficult things that are thrown at us at bad angles and at wrong times. Everyone needs help when things get overwhelming and are too much to bear, and there is help out there. Nowadays, doctors are so quick to just throw a little pill at you that's supposed to make it all go away. Well, that same pill can waste your money and even harm you. Antidepressants are pointless because they are ineffective, they are dangerous, and there are alternate ways to treat it. We all feel sad and a little nuts at times, but we can fix that in ways that are safe and effective. Taking something and risking having thoughts of suicide when you already feel bad enough that you seek for help is not the answer. We need help that is safe and effective. Thank you.